like I always say, with horses, you learn every day. On the barn, here in Florida, wherever you go, you learn with the horses. But especially when you go overseas, it's different experience. It's a challenge.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of the Off the Track Podcast, a daily racing form interview series where we go beyond the past performances and the handicapping. This week, trainer Jose D'Angelo joined us fresh off his recent success at the 2025 Breeders' Cup, where he had back-to-back winners with Shisospicy and Bentornato. We got a chance to talk with him all about those really talented runners, what their career has been like, what could be next for them. And then we got a chance to talk with Jose all about his life growing up in racing, becoming a trainer, some of the great horses he's worked with through the years. Kick back and enjoy this conversation with trainer Jose D'Angelo. Very excited to be talking here for the first time with Jose D'Angelo, who we just saw come off the biggest day that he's had as a trainer here in North America, where he was able to win back-to-back Breeders' Cup races. Believe the first Latino trainer ever to win back-to-back Breeders' Cup races. You've had a couple weeks now to think about it. What was that Saturday like for you, Jose? What was that hour like when you win back-to-back races? I get to see your group on the track yelling and screaming and celebrating, man. You guys were having a blast.
Yes, thank you very much. It was unbelievable day. Uh, a lot of my friends came to the race, so we was a big crew over there, and I was very confident on both of my horses. So I know like probably the hard part gonna be for Chisu Spicy because she was against the odds that the first 3-year-old in that can win this race. Later Ventornato that looks like his field. We prep him uh, on Churchill and he arrived like the favorite, but was a amazing day, like where we worked all year looking for that races. Everything worked perfect.
So let's start with She's So Spicy. Was very good from the very beginning, right? Really quick, but she just seemed like all throughout the year, she was passing these tests. You take her on a trip to Royal Ascot, doesn't have very much success there, but comes back. And then you're able to prove that she can get 6.5 furlongs if she wants. She can win over a tricky distance. And then, like you said, she's got to beat older horses. She's got to beat the boys. She just started checking off all the boxes throughout the year. Tell us a little bit about her.
She's a special horse since day one. Uh, I decided change to the grass because the way that she was training, I feel that she can give me something more, and she wasn't giving that to me. So that's why she lost at Auckland on the stakes. I just worked one time on the grass. I saw the difference. She was smooth, traveling better. And since that day, she is still undefeated on the grass in America. So I know we had the experience to go to Ascot and we ran against the boys there too. But I think the trip was too much for her. Probably that's why she had her best day over there. We'd have to travel to France, and from France to there was everything in short time. So after that trip, I gave time off to her in Saratoga. Okay, looking her every day. I'm waiting to have her ready. I had a meeting with the owners, discussing about, like you say, about the 6.5 furlongs because was the big question mark for a fast filly that she can make it or not. So they support me with the idea to go to Kentucky Downs and work it good, and that's why later we go to the Breeders' Cup. That was our original plan. Was always the Breeders' Cup. The Breeders' Cup was the ultimate goal.
Um, and any idea for her? I mean, she's still young with so much. When you have a great success like that, do you even think about what's next, or you just want to give her some time?
I like to give to her something off because was a huge race.
Yeah.
Also about the was a huge race. We traveled Monday. Later, she had the sale. That was a lot of show for her too. But she looks ready. She looks pretty good. So we have so many plans. We talking with the owner, we are having meeting, and we're gonna see where we are going with her. But I'm sure that the 2026 for her gonna be amazing. And like you said, she's just 3 year old, so she has a way, like space to improve more, like an older horse.
And the really good horses take you all over the world. You were talking about the trip to Royal Ascot with She's So Spicy. Bentornato, who we'll talk about in a second, you took a trip with him to Saudi earlier in his career. Do you learn about some of these horses when you take them on trips far and back, kind of like what it takes out of them? You said you could tell that she needed a little bit of rest after that trip. And now that you've done it a few times, is it a little bit easier to kind of figure it out?
Yeah, like I always say, with horses, you learn every day on the barn. Here in Florida, wherever you go, you learn with the horses. But especially when you go overseas, it's different experience. It's a challenge. So I learn a lot. I feel like I'm learning always. Of course, I have more experience now than with these trips. I feel that Ben Tornado gonna have a good campaign, in the Middle East, starting with Saudi in February.
And we're just going to get to Bentornato, who right after She's So Spicy wins the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint. You come back and win the Breeders' Cup Sprint with Bentornato. And I'd imagine the year for him was probably a little bit frustrating for you, or maybe you can take us through it because he's so good last year. He's second in the Breeders' Cup Sprint. You could probably get excited for all the things that could happen, but then we don't see Bentornato for most of the year, and we just see him at Churchill in September, barely kind of able to get a race in before the Breeders' Cup Sprint. How were you able to get him ready to rock for that race? And tell us about what the year was like for him.
Was strong year. Was a tough year. Like a lot of decisions. Thanks God, like all the decisions was, the right ones, because we scratched the horse on the Malibu last year in California. He went to a pet scan. He had little bone bruising. Nothing broke, no chips, nothing wrong with him. But just he need a rest because he was feeling huge since a 2 year old. So we gave to him 2 months off, and when he resumed training, he grows a lot. He weighed like 1,200 pounds. Okay, now, but he was heavier because he come from the stall. When he resumed training, he got splint. That's small thing, but we have to stop again. Um, you know, it's easier like when you give time to a horse, like is ready, and you have to give to the horse 3 weeks, something small. It's easier to put him fit again. But he have to go to rest after the rest, you
Yes.
know. So was hard to put him fit. Um, I know that we was against the clock because the plan was the Breeders' Cup Sprint this year. um, you need to have the horse ready. So I spoke with my owners and I say we have to go to this race in Churchill because it's the perfect timing to recover the horse after the layoff, after the race of the layoff, and having him and to have him ready for Breeders' Cup because I have to train him different. I have to have him sharp to come from the layoff and Churchill, and later, make him feel better again. um, just easy training to go to the big race, to the Breeders' Cup.
And you were talking about how you're learning from these horses every day. Not only are you learning from different horses, you're learning different things from the same horse, right? You said you had to train him differently than you may have trained him a year before just because of the timing and trying to get him ready. And did you have any anxious moments before the Breeders' Cup or going into that weekend? Did you feel like, you know what, he feels pretty good right now heading into the race?
Yes, like if you see the workout tab in Saratoga, was all the workouts strong because, like I said, I had to have him ready. But I know him very well. For the Breeders' Cup, he just worked almost 50 because it was different. He was ready. You have to make him feel good and keep fit, So worked perfect.
And you were just mentioning for him, he only raced a couple times this year, so you now have kind of a fresh horse heading into next year.
Yeah, it's very fresh. Yes, yes, that's the plan.
Jose, let's go back to the beginning for you. So, how do you initially get interested in horse racing? When you're a kid growing up, what was life like for you?
Well, I'm born and raised at the barn. My father's trainer. He was training in Venezuela, so I grow with him. Going every day to the barn and the weekends to the races. My grandfather was a journalist about horses too in Venezuela, and all my family from my father's side was related with horses, horse racing, and from my mother's side with horses, but on the ranch. So, oh, horses everywhere.
Yep.
Um, uh, I just was waiting for the weekends to go to the races. That's the most that I like. No baseball, no football, soccer, just horse racing.
um, and for some of us, like I remember for me, my dad was a contractor. He didn't want me to be a contractor. He wanted me to try other things. I think for you, were you involved in business a little bit, and then you kind of led your way back to horse racing?
That's funny too. He was, he don't want me be a horse trainer, and my mother neither. So I went to school to university. I just like I missed one semester to graduate it. But before on the middle to get the title of horse trainer over there, you have to go to a school there like 2 years. It's not easy and show up every day. One day I talked with him and say, "Hey, I'm gonna go to a school just to have the title of horse trainer." Okay, okay, have that. But on the way, like not graduated, one friend of mine, he was on British School. He said, "Hey, Jose, you know how to train horses?" Yes, of course. So I'm gonna give my horses to you. I have to ask my father because I'm at the school. So I called him to have a meeting. He was a little nervous. Say, "Hey, Dad, like I want to be a horse trainer." He wasn't happy. He said, "You have to graduate first." Yes, I'm gonna do at the same time. I'm finishing already. So okay, you have my support, but like not so happy.
Yeah.
Um, we are here.
Right. Yeah.
That's a long short story. We are here working together now.
So, what tracks were you working at in Venezuela? You kind of talked about that process, right? Getting your trainer, you got to work for a couple years to become a trainer.
Yes, the request there to be a trainer, you have to work 5 years for somebody. Um, get go to a school like two, 2 years probably. So I have the experience because I was with my father and my good father too. When my father retired from horse racing there in 2007. I have everything to get to the school. So I went to the school and I started training horses at the main track there, like Isla Rinconada in Caracas. In all the tracks I ran there, won. I won in Valencia, Rancho Alegre, just the only three tracks that we have over there, and was champion in Caracas.
So you get to the highest levels. You win. Was it the Clasico Simon Bolivar? That's the big
Yes,
race over there with.
yes, yes.
Uh,
I have here.
oh, let's see.
Yes, I have here the small photo of the
Oh,
stake.
awesome.
Yes,
There's dreaming of gold right there.
yes. Me, little John here.
Oh, that's that's
Yes.
amazing. And so you reached the highest of highs in Venezuela. At that point, you're doing so well. What makes you want to come over to the US?
Uh, the horse racing here is like the Major League Baseball. Like it's like where you want to be if you want to try yourself to prove yourself. My father came here in 2014. So I was planning, my goal there was be champion. I won the lead and trainer in 2018 because he won the lead and trainer three times over there. And we wanted to have the same record. So immediately after that, in 29 of May of 29, I decided moved to USA. Was good have him here before because I was watching him, looking the condition books and everything. That's make my transition easier.
For those of you who are listening, we got a chance to see the winner circle photo of Dreaming of Gold winning that big race, the Clásico Simón Bolivar in Venezuela. And so when you're making that change and you come over to the US, what was different for you, or what might have been hard for you at the very beginning? You go from the top with the best horses in Venezuela. Was it like that when you come over here right away for the in the US?
That was is a good question because moving here, a lot of Venezuelan owners have horses here. Like on the phone, they promised to me like 10 horses at least, 10, 12 horses. And I trained there 180 horses at the same time. So I arrived here just waiting for the horses and nobody showed up.
Oof.
Just one owner.
Wow.
One owner moved one horse. And the other horse I claimed with four friends from the school. Everybody put for one leg and claim one horse. So that was my start here. With my friends from the school, they start putting money, and as soon as we lose the first claim, they got mad. They don't want more horses.
Right? Yeah. If they lose and they're out,
Yes,
right?
yes, because we won like the three first races
Yeah.
with the three horses.
Nice.
Boom, win and claim, win and claim. Later they got mad. They told that here nobody lose money.
and
Yes.
and I think your first US win in June of 2019 with Beach Dreaming, but you have some pretty good success right away that kind of helps put you on the map with the horse named Jesus's Time, right? Who takes you
Yes.
all over to some of the big races. I mean, you're winning a race with him against $25,000 claimers, and that very same horse takes you to the Preakness, to the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. You run third in the Preakness, second in the Dirt Mile, second in the Pegasus. And that's right when you're coming to the US. And isn't that right when COVID also hit? Right?
Yes.
So, like,
Yes.
you're
Yes.
driving this horse around on the van by yourself.
Yes. After the claiming horses with my friends, the owner of Jesus team moved five horses to me. Um, I remember I worked at the horse for furlong, something like that, and at the same time was Tisdale working. Okay, for Berkeley Tag. I saw the gallop outs of both horses and was similar to me. Say, my horse looks like a gray
They
one.
can keep up. Yeah.
So yes, after run for 25,000.
Yeah.
So I told my father we are going to run the Kentucky Derby with Jesus's team. He told me, I said, you are crazy. So I started to find out because it was on COVID and all the classification was different. And I drive the horse to Monmouth to run the Haskell. And after the Haskell, the Pegasus Invitational. So he ran on the Haskell 4 against Authentic and New York Traffic. He ran third or second against the Pegasus Invitational at Monmouth to Pneumatic, probably. So he made the points to the Derby. So we put the horse on the Derby, and I decide not run the Derby because I like it to win both races, and he don't win. So I say the horse need a blinkers, and the right race to try the blinkers can be the Gene Dandy. Gonna be a easier spot. We're not gonna, squeeze the horse too much running against 14 horses on the Derby. I think I was right because the horse don't win the Gene Dandy, but he ran third on the Preakness after this race. And after this race, he ran second on the Breeders' Cup against Knicks Go, second on the Pegasus Invitational, and we went to Dubai. So it was a horse that put me on the map. Let me introduce myself to everybody here in America. Was a blessing, train him.
It's amazing these horses take us all over the world. You got a chance to go to Royal Ascot with a horse named Gabaldon, who ran really, really well over at Royal Ascot. What was that experience like? And it seems like you learned some things going there last year that you may have learned with Shisospicy coming out of the race this year.
Yes, was a amazing experience with Gabaldon. He almost win the race. Um, Train there was a new challenger for me because here in America it's easy. Wherever you go, you have a track. So you know that if you are doing one turn or jogging or whatever, there you have to train on fields with ups and downs like the races, but you are prepping a horse. So I have to start from zero. Where the place that I arrived was national stop that was empty, no runners there. So I don't have somebody to see at least what they are doing. We figured out I have a good team. The horse ran a huge race. He ran second, but was an amazing week. I met a lot of people over there. Uh, amazing experience. Almost was too close.
You talked about sort of the difference in training that you saw when you went over to Royal Ascot. Was there things that were different that you were doing in Venezuela that when you had to come over to the US too? Did you see notice differences
Co-
with them?
Completely, because Venezuela is the same. Like you train the horse at the mornings on the track, not on the fields. There you have just fields and some small tracks, but half tracks. So it's different, completely different.
And that's just one thing that you have to learn, right? Were there a difference of like dirt versus grass races too? Is that something that's different when you're coming over to the US?
Com com Completely different. To me, like their horses and grass horses are completely different. So I have different way to train them. Especially the sprint to the root horses, because you want to put some speed on these horses, and the other horse you need stamina. But at the end, the horse you see where they belong, and you try to get the best of them.
One thing about you from the very beginning of coming to the US, you've never been afraid to run horses in the biggest races and send horses all over. What was the experience like sending horses over to Saratoga, one of the most prestigious racetracks in all of the world, and having, legitimate like wins and legitimate horses running over at Saratoga?
You know, when I enter a horse in a race, when I prep the horse well and I make my plan, the workouts, the gallops, I don't care if the horse is 60 to 1. On my mind, they are 9 to 5. They are ready to win.
Yep.
Also, I try to be realistic too, place the horses where they belong. Sometimes you're right, sometimes not. At the end, they don't know how much they were too. Gabaldon just we bought the horse for 9,000, and he went to Ascot and almost stole the show.
Beat 25 horses over
Uh,
there, right?
yes, yes. So I try to do my best, keep my horses happy, place where they belong, and work hard, because me like trainer, I just want to win the biggest races of the country. So that's why we're working hard and trying to make that way.
One horse I wanted to talk with you about who you had success at the highest of levels too, Howard Wolowitz. He's able to win a grade one race. And Howard Wolowitz is a horse who won a grade one race at that tricky Kentucky Downs. That's a place that you've had some good success now over the last couple years. Talk to us about him. I believe that was your first grade one winner.
Yes, it's special horse for me. He won my first grade one. His for is here too.
Nice. Now
Uh,
we're getting a chance to see Howard. Yep.
yes, yes. So he's a character. He's hard to train because he have a lot of personality. Um, a horse that I learned a lot from him. He was this summer. I prepped four horses for different races: Chloe, Shisospicy, Bentornato, and Howard. All the horses ran huge.
Yeah.
Chloe ran second, Shisospicy won, Bentornato won, and Howard was just unlucky at Kentucky Downs this year. But it's a horse that every time that he ran, he put his heart out. Was a shame that he was little sick to go to Breeders' Cup this year, because that was the ultimate goal. So he gonna run now on the Turfway, same race that he won last year.
Yeah. And those purses have gotten bigger and bigger, and they've got some real good racing over at Turfway.
Yes, yes, it's a strong race, and he loves the synthetic. He is undefeated on synthetic, so hopefully we're gonna be all right over there.
We've seen you in every year to continue to grow your purse earnings. Coming off of 2024 was your highest year by far. Now 2025 is going to break all of those records, no doubt about it. Talk to us about your schedule, Jose. What's the morning like for you? What time does your alarm go off, and what are most days like for you?
A perfect day to me. I like to wake up like 3:30, three something. Check out the books, a little bit. because at this time, like your brain is clear, the day is quiet too, you can think in you can take good decisions.
Yep.
Start with espresso for sure, a lot of espresso on the day, and drive to the barn. Um, that start my day. I really like the days that I don't have races, stay on the barn all day because first I don't have to do nothing at home, just have my horses. So watching them on the stall, they talk. The horse spend like just probably 1 hour outside the stall, and you see them on the track training. But where you really know them is like how they act. Where they win, they act different. When the horse is living a good moment, uh, they are different. So you can see if they are sad or whatever, or they need more time. I had a horse like every time that he won like seven races in a row, and every time when he won this race the seven races in a row, he was asking for food like crazy and put his hair bad. When he don't, if on the week he don't do that, he don't win. So you have to learn your horses. You have to match with them because they talk. Just you have to understand what they want to tell you.
One more I want to ask you about is a horse who you had very good success with early on in his career. He wins the Mucho Macho Man about a year ago at Gulfstream Park, and then he was in the Holy Bull and the Hutchinson. But he bounced back with a nice performance at Churchill in September, and that's Guns Loaded. How is he doing? And talk to us a little bit about him, because that's sort of what everybody in racing wants. You want those young horses that are good on the dirt that give you the hopes that you could maybe get into the Derby.
Yes, a nice horse, honest horse. Was a horse that had a tough year too, like being a 2 year old. He traveled to Saratoga. He ran a huge race. First time out in Saratoga, ran second. Later, uh, he won at Churchill down in an amazing performance. So after the swell, we decided to give to him a time off. He needed the time off because he had a huge campaign at 2 year old. We stretch him to the mile, and I feel he's better being a sprinter. So that's why we back at Churchill, pointing to this race that he's entered on Monday at Mahoning Valley, the the sprint. He's doing excellent. He's already there, and he's ready. I really like the post position. Last race, he missed the break. They make a sandwich on him, and before we think that he was sprinter like that needs to go to the lead, fast force, but he came from the speed behind the speed, and he have a better race, so he can go on the lead. He can run second, third, and make his move. So very happy with him now. Our ultimate goal is going to the Malibu after that race.
And that's what it's all about. That's what your job is, right? It's figuring these horses out. Like, you give them a chance, they're so good that you want to see if they can go a little bit longer, and you want to see if they can stretch their speed. But then you figure out, you know what? His best races are when you cut him back. And that's why it's not always a straight line with the horses, right? You kind of move
Yes,
forward,
yes,
and then sometimes you got to figure things out.
exactly. I try to understand them because sometimes the paper says something, the mother, the father, like they run long, their grass, whatever. And if they're good horses, they're gonna try. Shisospicy won her first race by 16 legs on the dirt. Of course, no doubt she's better on the grass. And I'm sure that if I stretch her a little bit, she gonna looks like she can do it because she's a good horse and she always gonna try. So that's the key. Like you have to understand your horses and see where they belong, um, where they can be the best, that they can play with all the challenge, because sometimes you have, this is a sport, like sometimes you have the best horse of the race and not always wins the best horse. We always win the horse that had the best trip, the better trip, better luck, better post position. But you have to have your horse on the place that he can challenge against all the odds, and get the job done.
So many things can go wrong that if they don't go into the right spot, they're already going to be up against it, right? You got to put them
Exactly,
where,
100%.
where they can succeed. Jose, we've got the big Gulfstream meet coming up. You and I are recording towards the end of November. What is the year like for you? Do you have most of your horses based over there in Florida, and you're going to be running a lot of horses out of Gulfstream Park?
Yes, I have almost all my horses here now. Uh, Thanks God I have better horses this year, so we're gonna have some action in better races. That's the goal. Like you said, we started with routine running the Pegasus World Cup and running second. So now we are hungry. We want more. I have a few horses that can run on the Pegasus Day, that the big day at Gulfstream. But like the goal of keep winning races, try to have better horses, and going for the best races next year. That's our goal.
And what you've done now is you've proved you can win at the highest level with horses on grass, on dirt. So for all of those owners out there looking to send some horses, you can send them right over to Jose because he can get them to win for you at the highest levels off long layoffs in the sprint races, grass, dirt, you name it. Jose, we want to ask you some fun questions now
Thank you.
before we let you go towards the end here. If you weren't a trainer, if you weren't training horses for a living, what do you think you might be doing?
Oh wow. That's a good question. Also, my grandmother, she called me 2 days ago, and she said, "Jose, why you always said you don't want to be a trainer? How you are a trainer now?" So, so I say, Listen, because I hate that office. I went to the school and
That desk
I just
wasn't for
imagine
you, huh?
yeah, getting sued every day and talking and waiting for the hour to go out, like the break. No, that's not for me. But I don't know. Probably I don't know. I really don't know.
That's
Probably I don't know. I don't have. I just see my life with horses.
yeah, it's hard
Probably I have to wait for the lottery or for a herency to get one. I don't see me working another thing.
So we know you're at the track and you're dealing with horses most of the time. When you're not at
Probably something working with cars.
oh, with cat
I like the cars.
oh, with the cars.
Yes,
Okay, there we go.
fast cars. Yes,
Fast cars like
yes,
fast horses, right? Similar, right?
yes,
They go
yes.
fast. Um,
That's I like.
do you watch any TV, any movies, anything like that?
The true nothing.
Not
Just horse racing.
not a whole
The
lot.
condition books.
Yeah.
Yes.
What about any music? Do you any music out in the mornings when you're out there with the horses or any kind of oldies that you like?
Yes, I hear a lot of music. Bad Bunny.
There we go. Nice.
Yes,
Awesome. How about sports? Any sports or any teams that you follow? It's
horses.
the horses, right? Horses,
Oh, just horses.
fast horses, fast cars. Now,
I had a hat on Breeders' Cup of the Dodgers
oh,
because my
okay.
brother went to my family love sports, so my brother gave to me a hat, and I was entering to a barn, and the security he make a joke on me. He say, "Hey, you cannot get in. Why cannot get in? Because you had
The
a Dodgers hat. You need to have a Yankees hat. No problem. Just give me the hat.
yeah.
I I can put. I just get because it's pretty.
And, it's,
Thank you.
and especially in San Diego down there in Del Mar, the Padres are the Dodgers' biggest rival. So if you walk around with Dodger
Yes.
stuff, you better duck because they're gonna start throwing stuff at you, right? Like they don't.
Yes, and what is World Series there? So everybody was talking about the game.
Yeah, that was a fun time. Now you've been all over the world. What are some of your favorite tracks to visit?
Um, every track, I think I feel that every track is special,
Unique.
uh, unique. Yes, every track has something, especially when you win. When you win, make everything different because you like the themes. I really like California. I like Santa Anita. I like Del Mar a lot. I like Keeneland. I like Saratoga. But just I don't know. I don't have a favorite place. When I went to Dubai first time out and I saw the the grandstand was huge to me. I got impressed. This night there is magic. The running on the night over there. So I like. I don't have a favorite track, but I like a lot. Every track for me have something special.
Could you ever have imagined as a young kid in Venezuela that you'd be at Dubai at night and Royal Ascot, right? And Saudi Arabia with these horses taking you all over the world?
Honestly. just on my dream. I know I'm gonna finish with the horses because I love them and I love the horse racing. But the success that we are having, I work hard for that all my life. My father prepared me for that. My father, he teach me since I was a kid to talk with people older than me, owners, how behave, how manage the when you win, when you lose, everything. I feel like I don't know, like probably he knows where we are going because he prepared me. I feel he prepared me so well, and I owe that to him. But just my dreams. I never the horses bring me to places that just was on dreams. I don't rely on you. Just I feel blessed. I'm happy about it. Like now we are working and we are going on Monday to Mahoning Valley. On December we have the races with Howard Wolowitz. On Saudi we are going to with Bentornato hopefully to Saudi. So that's these kind of things that make the plans with the horses is amazing for me.
So after a big winning day, what's a celebration? What's the meal? Do you have a drink? I mean, you just had a big one. What was that night like for you guys having some fun after winning those Breeders' Cup races?
First, I was so tired,
Right.
tired. Like 8:20, I was sleeping, and we had a reservation, and we don't go to reservation because we was tired. But like my father teach me since I was a kid, like you cannot celebrate, you cannot celebrate too much, and you cannot get sad too much. Just you have to go forward. Next day we was just working and making the planning for the horses and the other horse at the barn.
Right back at the bar the next day, right?
Yes,
Never,
yes.
never stops. Uh, Jose, do you have anything that you want to mention? Anything that you want to plug? Anything that you want to promote before we let you go?
I just would like to say thank you again to all my owners that support me, trust me, because it's not just me. It's I have to say thank you to all my team. I have a amazing team, a dream team. My father, all the guys, the assistants, the horses, the jockeys, everybody that make this year amazing. Like I said, the owners because they trust me the horses and they let me work on the way that I want to have them ready for these races. It's not easy make the plans. With horses, it's not easy make plans, but it's harder make the plans works. So thank you about it.
We are big fans of you over here. A couple years ago, Roberto Rodriguez from DRF and Espanol, he let us all know about you and how good you were and how you were going to be on the national scene
Thank you.
before too long. So I wanted to give him a shout out because he's a huge fan of yours.
Of course, yes. He always support me.
Oh yeah, he said that's my buddy.
Photo Rob.
Make sure you ask him a
Yes,
couple questions about this, and he was giving me a little help when I was doing research. So Jose,
that's nice.
it has been a blast chatting with you. It was my first time getting to talk with you. I'm going to come give you a big handshake and a hello when I see you at Gulfstream Park for the
Waiting for
Pegasus.
you here.
Absolutely. And we wish you the best success. I hope we see you back in the winner's circle a couple more times at the Breeders' Cup next year.
Yes, sir. We see you there.
Thank you so much, Jose D'Angelo, Breeders' Cup winning trainer. Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of the Off the Track podcast. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast anywhere that you get yours. We're available on Amazon, Audible, Spotify, and on YouTube. See you next week with another very special guest.